Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Primetime Local News. Connor Chan and Abby St. John here to bring you all the stuff we have for tonight's show, including our question of the day. We'll talk about this later on in Primetime Local News. The city is now going to introduce scarecrows around certain areas to hopefully help reduce speeding. So we asked on Facebook, do you think it will help?
I'm not really sure what it is. I've never seen any of this before. I don't really know how it's supposed to work, but we'll see, I guess.
Maybe it's supposed to be posing as like a decoy, hopefully maybe reduce speeders. But we'll talk about that a little bit more into the show. But right now, let's send over to Eric Bay, who's live on location tonight.
Thanks, guys. Today we're out here in Vermilion at the Vermilion Regional Center, where the Vibe Mental Health Gala is going on here tonight. Over 200 different art projects are on display here, made by kids from all around Vermilion and area with a mental health theme, raising awareness for mental health. We'll be talking a little bit with some of the people who did put on this event, and again, that starts at 6 o'clock, so if you are in the area and want to check it out, you can come by. There's door prizes, as you can see, lined up beside me here. There's different crafts for kids and adults alike, but first we're going to go back into the studio where Abby has a look at your local news.
Thanks, Eric. Well, the RCMP Major Crimes Unit arrested and charged a man with first-degree murder in connection to a case in Lloydminster. Christopher Andrew Hermkins of Edmonton was arrested in Calgary for the murder of Raymond Dumont that took place on April 27th. Hermkins was remanded into custody and appeared in Lloydminster Provincial Court via CCTV this morning. There is no further information at this time. A traffic safety program that started in BC is expanding to Lloydminster. The city of Lloydminster has purchased life-size metal cutouts of an RCMP officer holding a radar gun, nicknamed Officer Scarecrow, in attempt to get drivers to slow down.
We got it from the city of Coquitlam and the RCMP in Coquitlam, and we looked into it with them. They were able to share their data that they've collected on speeders and the effect it's had. We thought it would be something that we could transfer to Lloydminster. Seems very transferable, and we're just hoping that it'll slow down the motoring public.
The city will start with 2 scarecrows placed in areas like school zones and monitor traffic speeds in those areas.
A lot of the legwork's been done by Coquitlam already. It's proven to be quite effective for them, so I don't see any reason why we would stop using it. It's a very low cost and effective way to try and slow people down in those, again, zones that are for more vulnerable sector of our population.
Each scarecrow costs $325, and they are expected to be in place by the end of May. The Lloydminster RCMP and Lloydminster and District Co-op are gearing up for their 5th annual Stuff the Cruiser on Saturday. Members from the Lloydminster RCMP Detachment, Fire Department, and Citizens on Patrol will be on hand collecting donations for the Lloydminster Salvation Army Food Bank. The Lloydminster and District Co-op are excited once again for the event.
One of our principles that we're founded on as a cooperative is supporting community. So doing something like this with the Lloydminster RCMP, with the fire department, with Citizens on Patrol is another way that we show that principle in action and that we allow our membership to be engaged as well.
This year, instead of cruisers, it will be the new RCMP police van that will be stuffed with food. And what started as an idea has raised hundreds of pounds of food for the Lloydminster Salvation Army Food Bank. And the amount of community support is something that Co-op is very thankful for every year.
There's a lot of suffering that goes on in the community. There's still people who don't have jobs, and any way that we can provide that support as a cooperative and we can encourage our membership to support it as well is something that we take very seriously, and we're very, very grateful for all the support.
Over 50 cruisers have been stuffed in the past 4 years. The event takes place from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. This past weekend, the 21st annual MS Walk was held, and this year was another success. The walk was held on Saturday at Bud Miller Park. Many people participated in the event once again, raising a lot of money for the MS Society.
We were able to raise over $66,000 this year. We had about 230 participants and 37 teams registered this year.
As this was the 21st time the walk was held, Tammy says it shows how many people want to help raise awareness for MS.
Definitely it was a success. Even though our numbers for participants and revenue is down, I still believe that it was a huge success. Again, it's just a testimony of the Lloydminster community coming out and recognizing the importance of what the MS Walk represents for all of us, and to be able to, again, have that awareness and to share that with the community of coming together and celebrating that.
If you would still like to donate to the MS Society, contact Tammy for more information. And now we're going to Eric Bay, who is live on location tonight.
Thanks, guys. We're back here in Vermilion at the Vibe Mental Health Gala, and Pat Kalinuk joins me now, and who is a Vibe Wellness Manager. Now, can you maybe just explain a little bit as to what Vibe actually does in the schools?
We do mental health prevention programming in the schools in Vermilion, Manville, Kitscoty, and Clendonald, which means we teach kids how to deal with stress and anxiety.
And now you mentioned off camera that this is your 7th mental health gala. What was kind of the inspiration to kind of start this gala up?
One of the Vibe coaches thought that this would be a great way for students to express what they thought about mental wellness or mental illness, and so the idea was born.
And you mentioned too to me off camera that you guys have a theme for this year. So can you maybe explain what the theme is and why you guys did choose this theme?
So this year's theme is the world of beliefs, and that's because many people have beliefs about mental health, some that are true and some that aren't. And so we have little true and false questions on the tables for people to test their knowledge about mental health.
And what's been the response from the community in the past for past mental health galas, and what are you kind of expecting for a turnout tonight?
Last year we hit over 500 people came, and the year 400. So we're hoping anything over 200 will make our night, although we have enough food for over 500.
Perfect. Food's always very important. And now can you maybe just explain a little bit as to what kind of different activities you do have going on here tonight?
So tonight there is various art activities. So in the world of beliefs, we have dragons and monsters and fairies and wands. The First Nations are doing a medicine wheel session. We have meet a real life superhero, so the RCMP will be here doing capes with the students, and then we have sessions just for adults, and of course we have our favorite, our chocolate fountain with tons and tons of strawberries and other squares and desserts.
All right, perfect. Thank you once again for joining us. We'll have a little bit more coming back from here in Vermilion, but first we're going to go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Harry. Taking a look at current temperatures outside, it was a great sunny day outside for us, sitting at 11 degrees currently right now for us here in Lloydminster. Some wind chills, though, not too bad. Still at 13 kilometers an hour coming there from the north. Some records for this time of year. Warmest day was 27 degrees back in 2016, while our coldest day dates back a little far back to 1982 at -7. As we take a look at the satellite radar map, still some activity, but not as much as we saw yesterday in that Edmonton region. It's still most of the majority of it being up north in that Lac-La-Bouche area and a little further out west there. Take a look at some other current temperatures right now. Still 11 degrees for Cold Lake, Athabasca, 13 for Edmonton and Whitecourt, 12 for Edson, 14 degrees out in Jasper, 9 for Red Deer and Rocky Mountain House. Over in Saskatchewan, 10 degrees out in Meadow Lake, 13 in Saskatoon, 10 degrees for Melfort, 11 for Prince Albert, 12 degrees for North Battleford as well. As we take a look, a little more in-depth look to the regional temperatures, -4 overnight North Battleford, as they're seeing all sunshine right now with clear skies overnight, warming up to 14 degrees tomorrow with some sun and cloud mix there. Cold Lake tomorrow, -1 overnight, warming up to 13 tomorrow with possible showers tomorrow with the sun and cloud mix there. For us here in Lloydminster, -1 overnight with a few clouds overnight, warming up to 14 tomorrow. We could see maybe the same results, but maybe a little bit more cloud coverage throughout the daytime tomorrow. Take a look at the next 3 days. Another great day of double digits. 16 on Thursday with a low there of 2 degrees. We're back to positive digits in the lows, and low of 6 on Friday with a 17 for the high. The 40% chance we could see some rain and a wind speed rather, close to 30 kilometers an hour. That's the first look at your weather. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Welcome back. Well, sometimes the best laid plans include a plan B. Gerard Lampow finds out why flexibility could be the best strategy when it comes to feeding options.
Getting cows ready for calving takes planning to maintain body condition and having the nutrients to provide energy. Dr. Bart Lardner and his team at the University of Saskatchewan have been studying various feeding options to understand their value in the production process.
So I always suggest is that maybe have 2 or 3 of these systems, and so you don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Lardner has looked at 5 different systems to get cows primed for calving season. Some producers are using swath grazing, but others use bale grazing or mix to keep their feed strategies flexible.
Bale graze a 600 cow herd all the way from November right out till April. And so that's just reducing that tractor start time, reducing the diesel input costs. I see a lot of guys have gone to corn grazing. And so, they've figured out how to manage it. They've figured out how to, reduce their feed costs per cow per day.
It varies by location, ecoregion, and Mother Nature.
It's all about weather. It's all about rainfall. So, some years, the semi-arid swift southwest part of our province, swift current country or south, may not get as much rain as the northeast part of the province.
Dry weather has seen cattle moving from some parts of southern Saskatchewan into the Midwest and other areas that have had better moisture and pasture conditions. Producers need moisture for pasture and bale grazing.
You want at least, 6, 8, 10 inches of rain to have a good crop. And so you can obviously have a plan going forward, but if it doesn't rain, you're going to have to come up with plan B.
From corn grazing, barley, oats, and triticale, producers always value keeping their options open.
So if your one system, maybe millet grazing didn't work out, maybe you've got bale grazing to fall back on.
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
That's all for eggs. Sports is next, but first here's a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
The Edmonton Oilers have started a new era, naming Ken Holland as their new general manager and president of hockey operations.
And my goal, obviously, is to lead this team to become an elite team in the National Hockey League. And I think that there's lots of key pieces here that are in place.
Holland is hoping to bring past success with Detroit to the Oilers, taking over for interim GM Keith Gretzky. Edmonton has made the playoffs just once since advancing to the Stanley Cup final in 2006. The Oilers hope Holland can finally build a contender around superstar captain Connor McDavid. A newly named Border Rage senior lacrosse team hold their home opener this weekend, while for one member of the squad, it will be his debut in playing the sport as an adult. Aaron Jazowski hadn't held a lacrosse stick since high school, but a chance meeting at the gym got him to join the Rage.
Little different workout more than anything.
He's enjoyed his time thus far, but is itching to get into competition.
Practice is fun, but I'd really like to see how badly I feel at the end of a game.
The Rage face the St. Albert Miners Saturday and Sunday at the Civic Center. Those games will be a rematch for the Rage, who lost their first meeting this last weekend, but were awarded the victory this week due to the Miners forfeiting because of an unregistered player. The Lloydminster Extreme also hosts their season opener Sunday against the Parkland Posse. The Extreme dropped their season debut last week, 16-10 to Cold Lake. And the Lloydminster Red Dogs can clinch another Capital District title and undefeated season this weekend against the Battle River Shock. The Red Dogs took their last regular season game in a landslide 46-6 victory over the Edmonton Mustangs, getting strong performances on offense and defense. Game time for the league title on Saturday is 6 p.m. at Emerald Hills Turf Field. And now we're going to Eric Bay, who is live on location tonight.
Thanks. We're back here once again for Vermilion at the Vibe Mental Health Gala, and now I'm joined by Laura Lee Marin of AHS, and I see you're sporting a couple of custom pins. This is a fairly interactive event, so can you maybe just describe what you'll be doing here tonight?
So every year I come and I get to engage with families and children and talk about positive mental health and the things that we can do to make sure that we're practicing things to build positive mental health. And we have the opportunity for the kids to create a button that they can take with them. They do one for themselves and they create one that they can give away, just with a positive affirmation, really to build support and promote positive mental health.
And that promoting of positive mental health, how is that kind of, how does that kind of help right away the kids when they do see this and coming out and experiencing this?
Well, they recognize that they're not alone, that there's a lot of people who, we all have mental health and physical health are both really important to how we live life. But they also recognize that life is a journey and we all have times when life can be difficult for us. And so could be days when they're harder and that they're not alone in that. And they learn skills, they learn strategies to be able to reach out and ask for support. And being creative is really one of those ways that we can build our own positive mental health. Whether you sing, whether you do crafts, artwork, write stories, whether you journal, those are all ways of being creative that help us to express how we're feeling inside and show how we're really doing to the world around us.
And now just quickly, you've been here a few different times, so how does this event kind of evolve to continue to help people?
Well, this is my 5th year at the Vibe Mental Health Art Gala, and I just love that every year I think, oh, they'll never do it better than they did this year, and every year they surpass the expectations that I have for a wonderful event. And so more people, more community partners, as they are in the community longer, they built really strong partnerships with community agencies and volunteers. And so every year they have these ideas around what do we need to express, what do we need to address in terms of the mental health of our community and the children and youth that are part of our community. And they come up with these wonderful themes, like this year, I Believe. And so for us, it's I believe in the buttons, it's I believe in the positive affirmations, I believe in myself that I can do anything. And so that's really what we encourage the kids to do, is to build their positive well-being.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have a little bit more coming back from here, but first we'll go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Taking a look at some other current temperatures in our area here. 11 degrees right now here in Lloydminster, 12 degrees in Vermilion and Marwayne and Vegreville, 13 out in Edmonton, 11 in Cold Lake and St. Paul, 12 for Bonnyville and Lac La Biche, 13 degrees down in Provost, 13 in Macklin, 12 degrees in Maidstone and North Battleford and St. Walburg, 10 degrees in Meadow Lake, 9 for Green Lake, and 7 degrees out in Isle La Crosse, 7 degrees out in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, 3 degrees in La Ronge and Flin Flon, 2 for South End, 3 for Wollaston Lake, 8 degrees for Stony Rapids and for Chippewa, 12 in Fort McMurray here. Slate Lake sitting at 9 degrees, 14 for Grand Prairie, 13 for Peace River, and 15 degrees for High Level. Down in southern Alberta, 8 degrees currently in Lethbridge, 14 for Medicine Hat, and 10 in Coronation and Calgary, 7 degrees right now in Banff. Take a look in southern Saskatchewan, 12 for Kindersley, 14 for Swift Current and Moose Jaw, 15 in Regina, 13 for both Yorkton and Estevan. Now, we did see a much sunnier day than yesterday. It might be the trend heading into the next couple of days, as we'll showcase later in the 7-day forecast. We're expecting back into the 20s as we get to the weekend here. So take a look at tomorrow, daytime high there, 14 degrees as it will be for most of the area here. So 14 for Maidstone and North Battleford, 15 degrees for Vermilion, Vegreville, Wainwright, Provost, and Macklin, 13 in Marwayne, Cold Lake, Pearceland, Bonnyville, and St. Paul sitting at 14 degrees as well, 11 in Isle La Crosse, 12 for Green Lake and Meadow Lake, 14 also out in Edmonton and St. Paul there. Let's take a look at the school day forecast. It should be very sunny as you wake up for the morning there. So 8 a.m. there, 3 degrees there to start the day there, 8 degrees at recess time, and 11 degrees at lunchtime, as we'll start to see a bit more clouds coming in throughout the day until home time, where the daytime high at 14 degrees with mostly cloudy, but some sun in there as well. So here's the next 7 days. 16 degrees on Thursday, 17 on Friday with a 40% chance of some showers, as we'll see the wind pick up a little bit more at close to 30 kilometers an hour. 19 on Saturday with more sunshine and a few clouds. 20 degrees on Sunday, where we could see all clear skies. 18 on Monday, 17 on Tuesday. We're back to some positives in the lows and around the averages for this time of year. But that's your look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news after the break.
Thanks, guys. We're back here once again in Vermilion for the Vibe Mental Health Gala, and I'm joined now by Catherine Ulrich, who is an inclusive education coordinator with the Catholic schools. So maybe first, can you just talk a little bit about what exactly Vibe does within your schools?
Sure. Vibe provides mental health prevention programming for our schools in Vermilion, St. Jerome's School, which is a K-12 program. They provide programming for that is linked to the curriculum, Provincial Program of Studies. They also provide activities during lunchtime for kids, a place to be, things to do, as well as after-school programming such as diploma prep, study skills, move your mood, cooking club, and all sorts of things. They also provide programming at School of Hope, which is supporting homeschooling families. And so it's a unique situation, and they provide programming online, so kids, no matter where they are in the province, can access that mental health prevention programming.
And as an inclusive education coordinator, how important is it to kind of, I guess, put more of a focus on that mental health when people are in schools and maybe not getting the same effect as they are maybe at home?
You know, more and more these days we're hearing that mental health is an area of concern in our schools. And so having that prevention programming available really helps us to provide a common language for kids. It gives them the vocabulary to talk about concerns, to really learn what are typical responses to stressful events in life, to recognize that everybody has those, and then to learn some skills and strategies to how to cope with those things, and then to learn how and where to access resources when that need does arise.
And just really quick, how's an event like this, we see the artwork behind us, how's an event like this kind of maybe take it to a different approach and still keep the kids kind of engaged with learning about mental health?
Yeah, well, you know, the focus on mental health for their artwork really helps them to focus on what are those positives, what might be those areas of concern. And, you know, most kids have had their artwork displayed in their classroom or maybe in the hallway of their school, but the opportunity to have it displayed in a contest and then in a very public setting is really exciting for them. And it helps to, you'll see they're very excited to bring their families tonight, to show them their artwork, to make it more public and to really help to reduce that stigma and get them talking about those issues.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. We'll have a little bit more coming back from here in Vermilion, but first we'll go back into the studio.
All right, so as we saw earlier, the city is planning to get the scarecrows, as they call it, the Officer Scarecrow, around the city here to start in May here. You're starting with 2 you're going to put around. So we put on our question of the day. Do you think that these will work to help reduce speeders? A lot of people are saying no, and I mean it might work for a while because, you know, when people do see cop cars driving by, or even just like those types of cars that are police cars, or even the City of Lloydminster cars, you know, they have more of an effect. That's what some of the comments are saying. So just a few comments are, you know, just saying, like I said, a majority of them saying no, but a few of them are also saying, you know, they may get a more effect from, you know, it could work to an extent because maybe they actually might get fooled. It depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen something like this before, and the fact that, you know, they're telling us that they're going to be there, they look like this and all that, I'm really not sure what is going to happen. Maybe it'll help for a little bit, but then people are going to realize that they're there and then not so. But it could help reduce that speeding.
Yeah, especially in school zones, as it was mentioned earlier, that, you know, these are going to be in areas where people, you know, maybe do tend to speed a little bit more, go over that 30 kilometers an hour in the school zone. So hopefully it'll do some benefit for the time being, and hopefully maybe the city will implement more. But right now, let's take a look at our pet of the day segment here. So this is Cooper. He'll start things off here.
Adorable.
He is very adorable. Next up, we have Denzel.
Oh, wearing the little tie.
Yeah, he got back from the groomers, looking all good.
Yeah.
Next, we have Iris and Rex, some cute rabbits.
Adorable names.
I know, very cute. Next, we have Smokey.
Oh, just a little thing.
Yes,
I
so
love
cute.
it.
And last but not least, this is Delilah.
Oh, so cute.
So tiny. Well, if your pet was shown on today, you're automatically entered to win a Lloydminster Pet Pack gift card, which we're giving away at the end of the week.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Joined here with Becca from the SPCA, and we have Slippers joining us today, a bunny. We normally have cats and dogs, but today we're mixing things up a little bit, and we have this adorable bunny. So would you like to tell us just everything about this about Slippers.
Yeah, so it's a female and she's spayed, so there's no more babies for her kind of thing. She was a surrender as well, so she's just been in the shelter for a few weeks now. So she's all good and ready to adopt. She's a little stressed out right now. She's breathing pretty good, but otherwise, I mean, once you have her in your lap, she's very, very social. She's happy to sit there and be pet. A big fan of her treats as well too, strawberries, things like that. She's a fan of. But yeah, and she definitely likes to be out and about. She isn't quite litter trained yet. We are trying to work with her on that, but I mean, she's about 2 years old, so she's kind of in her ways a little bit, but I'm sure she would learn. But yeah, she likes to be out and hopping around and exploring her surroundings.
And how is she with kids? I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, once she's kind of being held, she's really good. I mean, she's kind of just sitting here with me too. But again, I mean, like, you know, I would probably suggest, you know, like 10 and up kind of thing, you know, just kids that, just because she is a little bit temperamental sometimes.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's never tried to bite any of us kind of thing. Like when we clean her kennel, she kind of stomps her feet at us a little bit, so she kind of tells us to get out of her kennel, but I mean, she's never bit or anything like that.
And what should people know about bunnies that are different from, say, like a puppy or a cat?
I mean, they still, like, sometimes, you know, people think that they're good for just being kennel animals kind of thing. They're really not. I mean, you can kind of see this one, she is just as big as a cat kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they still need to get out and stretch their legs. I mean, they love being out in the grass, and I believe they have been harness trained before. So you can give that you can definitely give that a go. But yeah, they definitely still need that attention, just like any cat or dog. And I mean, like, yeah, obviously just a little bit of different food that they're on to kind of thing. But I mean, other than that, like, they're social creatures as well too. So I mean, they need that love and attention still too.
And we were talking a little bit about, you have the general meeting coming up and PetSmart adoption. Would you like to talk about both of those or one of them?
So yeah, our annual general meeting, that's just where we go over all the budgets and everything like that, and then what we do. And then our PetSmart adoption weekend is next weekend, so the 17th to the 19th. So we'll have a bunch of our adoptable animals there. So if you're looking, definitely come take a look.
And I know you guys do a lot of like the PetSmart adoption days. Does that help big time finding a lot of these dogs and cats and animals homes?
Yeah, and you know, sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. Like sometimes we'll, like this past weekend, we had an adoption event and we had 2 animals adopted. So that's a pretty good weekend for us too, kind of thing. But sometimes if we don't do any adoptions, at least we've chatted with a lot of people, you know, a lot of people that seem to kind of still think of the old ways kind of thing, and we're able to kind of inform them of what we actually do now. And so that's kind of a big part for me too, why I like going, because you can chat with people a little bit more when you're out and about, and they can ask the questions that they have too, kind of thing. So that's one of the bigger, not bigger than the animals obviously, but that is one of the big reasons why I like going out and being there.
And will Slippers be part of that adoption weekend?
If she's still there by next week, like I think we are considering taking her to PetSmart so she can hang out there. Our rabbits tend to see a lot more traffic there, so we might take one of our kennels with us there just so she can see more action.
Okay, well, perfect. Just quickly wrapping up, if you would like to adopt Slippers or any other animals from the SPCA, head on down, or you can give Becca a call. And if you would like to attend their adoption weekend next weekend at PetSmart, go ahead and head down there as well. So thank you for coming in, and thank you for bringing in Slippers, the adorable, well-behaved bunny. We were a little nervous about what was going to happen, but she was very well behaved. So thank you.
Thank you.
Pet Project is brought to you by Quick Pick Waste Disposal, Lloydminster's #1 waste and recycling hauler. Quick Pick is waste collection you can depend on.
I'm Justin with 101.9 Boom and 93.7 Win FM, and here's what's happening. Right now we have an insane contest going on that you're going to hear us talk about a lot because it's a big one and we don't want anyone to miss out on it. It's called Fast and Curious, and you could win yourself a gorgeous 2019 Nissan 370Z courtesy of the new Lloydminster Nissan. All you have to do to enter to qualify is head over to one of the participating locations. This week, it's at Willow Creek in Lloydminster. Make sure you go there, say hi to the incredible staff, throw your name in the ballot bin, and who knows, it could be your name we're calling. Monday morning at 7:40 a.m., we call a qualifier's name. If it does happen to be yours, well, you only have 370 seconds to call us back, so make sure you and everyone you know is listening if you have entered or if you do plan on entering. Once again, you don't want to miss out on this one. More details can be found at 1019boom.com and 937waynefm.com, and you can see the full list of all the participating locations, where it's going to be. Each week it's at new ones, so if you miss out on this one, there's always next week. On top of that, a whole bunch of incredible concerts are going down. You got Shawn Mendes performing at Rogers Place June 16th. You don't want to miss that. And then Khalid's bringing his Free Spirit World Tour over to the Rogers Place July 4th. Two huge artists, and more details can be found at waynefm.com. Extreme Mudfest is happening in Bonnyville. That's going down August 15th to the 18th. Weekend passes are starting at just $105. You have Tim Hicks and Default performing, along with a whole bunch of other artists. I'm Justin with 1019 Boom and 93.7 Wayne FM, and that's what's happening.
Inside the CPCA, brought to you by the Canadian Professional Chuckwagon Association.
And welcome. This is the edition of this Inside the CPCA. I'm Greg Buchanan along with Chris Smalley. We are just 3 weeks away to the start of the CPCA race season in North Battleford. Chris, excited? 3 weeks away?
Yeah, very. Can't come soon enough. We've been training all spring here and waiting all winter to get back at it, so I can't wait.
Talk about that schedule. You wrap up your season on that Sunday afternoon in Lloydminster, and then now we're sitting here in May. What's kind of the schedule for you, for the horses, to get ready for what's a busy 3 months?
Yeah, we bought some new ones last fall, and then, wintering them, take care of them, and can't wait to start driving and exercise them in the spring and get back at her.
Right now, what are you guys doing? How do you do your training? They always talk about truck training. What is truck training? Do you do any of that?
No, I bought myself an Equicizer here a few years ago, and it's been working very well for me, so I'm very happy with that. And then I drive lots and then chase them in the field a little bit, and then we go to the track and blow them out. So
Equicizer, maybe explain to the viewing audience what an Equicizer is.
So it's a 72-foot diameter ring that the horses are running there free, and they go in there freely, and the arms just move around. Basically, they're not tied to anything. Big merry-go-round, they go around. Yeah. You can set the speed, the time, and it's we work up the ground a little heavier as they get better in shape.
Have you noticed the benefits of that?
Yeah, you get a lot more bottom end in them, I find, and you can bring them up slow, and then once you do that, it'll only take you so far, and then you put the wind into them later on.
Well, how many horses do you have right now that you're training?
I got 55 in training right now.
Wow. And out of those 55, how many are going to see the track this summer?
I'm hoping all of them.
Oh, so. Wow. But maybe explain that depth that you do need. When you start that first weekend in June and you wrap up in that third week in August, and on top of that you have 10 days of the Calgary Stampede.
Oh, for sure. It takes a huge commitment and huge amount of horses. We run 2 wagons as well, so which is benefit for me. It helps, guy stays keener driving, gets more horses in races. You get to find the superstars that you try on, your non-point, and you can move them to your point hook, and you get better variety and selection of horses. So, but yeah, you go through a lot, and then, if something comes up sore, a little ouchy, we kick them out and let them rest up and heal for the summer, and we bring in a new one.
As much as we look ahead to 2019, look back to 2018 for Chris Smalley, and you were the High Point Award winner. Lost out to a mid-swing. It was Ray in the pass. It was, and you look at the rookie sensation he was this past season in Dale mid-swing. Yeah. But for yourself, what does it mean to win that High Point Award, but what would it mean to win the CPCA Championship?
Well, as I set my goals last year, I wanted to win the High Point, which I was lucky enough to achieve that. But yeah, absolutely, I'd like to win that High Point, but can't take no credit, that truck can't take nothing away from Dale. He did an amazing job, and they've got good horses, and that given day he had the best team on the track, so it was hats off to him.
And before, of course, the season starts, we have the Calgary Stampede tarp sale, great auction for you there. Mm-hmm. Also the CPCA Finals tarp sale, and your relationship with PWM Steel continues.
Yes, this will be the 7th year with Paul and Val, PWM Steel, and it's been great, great family aspect with them and friendships. You know, it's great. Same with Benoit Oilfield Construction. Just, you know, the ties you build with these people, they, like I said, become family, and you know, talk to them all winter, and they come out and visit, and so which is huge.
Okay, good luck in the 2019 season, which starts in 3 weeks' time. Excited for that. What are you expecting the first weekend?
Just be clean, and hopefully the horses are ready to go, and I guess we'll see. Everybody, like you said, we'll go to Edgerton here in the next couple weeks, and you're always a day money winner when you're running by yourself, but we'll see what Edgerton or North Battleford brings.
And that is Chris Smalley for Inside the CPCA.
Thanks, guys. Back here once again in Vermilion for the Vibe Mental Health Gala that is going on, actually starting up here right at 6 o'clock. You can see as Jim pans over, there's tons of people already starting to come in. And again, there's tons of different things you want to do. There's some mental health resources on the table next to me if you are looking to find a little bit more on about mental health. Tons of artwork. This is an art gala after all. There's a piece behind me. And again, tons of new artwork created by students from all over. And again, this event isn't all just sitting down. There'll be tons of different interactive experiences too. We talked a little bit about Laura Lee Marin with her button making. There's also going to be a Native American medicine wheel going on, and again, just tons of food, snacks, and stuff for the whole family to come out and enjoy. The event is free to come out and attend, and again, it costs nothing to come out, and it's on from 6 until 9, so you have 3 full hours to come check it out here in Vermilion if you are in the area. So that's all from us from here. We're going to have a little bit more coming back up in the second hour, but first we'll go back to Abby and Connor, who will wrap up tonight's first hour of the newscast.